You see these teenagers pulling up in supercars, stacking millions on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and you think they just got lucky, right? But ask yourself, how do they do it? And what do they know that you don't? You will get the answer to this question at the end of this video. Because what separates them isn't money. It's how they think, how they use time, how they build systems, and how they stay locked in, while everyone else scrolls, chills, and waits. I broke down the lives of 5 teen millionaires who bought their dream cars before 20 and found 7 repeatable money moves that anyone can copy, starting broke. And in this video, I'm breaking down those 7 brutal truths, the ones that actually built their wealth, while most people their age are still stuck in class. Oh my God, this thing moves like it's late to graduation. Like, bro, you need this car in your life. Are you with me? Let's get into it. First, every single one of these kids started with obsession, not opportunity, not a get-rich-quick thing, not some trending niche. This is 19-year-old Cash. 7 months ago, he was working at Chipotle, but now he's pulling 100 million views and hundreds of thousands of dollars on YouTube a month. Cash was addicted to making videos before a single person cared. He said,
"The one thing that you have to do whenever you start a YouTube channel, you have to really enjoy doing it."
You might hear that and think, okay, but how does that help me get paid? Here's how. When you actually love something, you survive the boring parts, the long nights, the 0 views phase. That's why others quit, but you keep going. And because of that, you start building momentum while they're still jumping from trend to trend. Most guys want the bag first, but it's the guys who fall in love with the craft who end up with both. But here's the catch. Even passion burns out if you stay stuck doing everything yourself. That's why the second money tip is to automate everything. I'm not talking about setting reminders or using templates. I'm talking about building systems that run even when you're offline. Cash has his entire content pipeline scheduled months in advance. He literally said,
To be honest, I think now I'm working maybe 8 hours a day. I used to work like literally 12. It was horrible. But now I've cut that down a lot with a lot of my team.
I've cut it down a lot with my team. I'm trying to automate everything. Why? Because his energy isn't spent on editing. It's spent on growing. Most of you are still doing the thumbnails, the voiceovers, the posting, the follow-ups. That's why you're stuck at 1K. Meanwhile, this dude's thinking 10 moves ahead. If you're not building a machine, you are the machine. And that doesn't scale. Now you're probably wondering, okay, but what skill do I even start with? This is where most teens mess up. They try everything but master nothing. The third tip is about stacking money-making skills that compound. Trading, copywriting, YouTube systems, branding, hiring. This is Nico. At 16 years old, he's been able to grow multiple successful YouTube channels. Nico runs a content business doing over $400,000 a month. At 16, PB made $12,000 in one trade. While in school, he said,
"Yeah, so I just trade the same 10 to 20 stocks. Last week I made like $12,000 in a week."
That's not random. That's years of backtesting. Representatives, obsession. He wasn't just dabbling, like he got lethal at one skill, then added more. That's how you stop trading time for money. And that leads straight into tip 4. Get paid while you're still in school. You heard that right. These dudes weren't waiting to graduate, they were getting the bag while sitting in class. PB literally said,
"Yeah, that's literally it. I'm just in the back of class trading away, and it's way easier this summer, like, bro."
Nico had 40 tardies because he was waking up at 4:30 to record before school. Meanwhile, most guys your age are worried about what their math teacher thinks. These guys are worried about cash flow. You're already wasting 8 hours a day at school. Why not turn one of those hours into money? The system's not going to save you, so stop waiting and start monetizing the dead time. Now I know what you're thinking, but I don't have a crazy idea. That's exactly why tip 5 hits hard. This is Eric Zhu. At 15, he co-founds a now $20 million investment fund called By Commodity and has recently raised over $1 million for his own startup company, Aviato. Eric didn't start with a $1 billion idea. He started by watching others, studying what already worked, then doing it better. That's what Cash said too. If you want to be big, you got to replicate what other people are doing. And it's not just smart, it's faster. Success leaves clues. Pick one winner, break down their whole system, steal their strategy. Then once you're inside the game, that's when you evolve. Most people try to be original before they're even functional. Big mistake. Now let's talk about timing. You think you don't have time? You think you're too late? That's a lie. The most dangerous teens I found use downtime to sprint. Quarantine? They didn't just binge Netflix. They built brands, learned new markets. PB said it himself.
That night, I think I did not sleep from 8 hours straight watching videos about trading, watching these guys make all this money trading, watching this guy make his Lamborghini or buy a Lamborghini and making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That was his pivot moment. While the world slowed down, he sped up. So here's my question to you. What are you doing when things are quiet? During school breaks, at summer, weekends, if you're not using your slow seasons to sprint ahead, you're already behind. And the final tip, the one thing they all had in common, is so simple it's almost stupid. They were consistent. Boring, right? Until you realize it's the only reason they succeeded. It wasn't IQ, it wasn't connections. It was the fact they showed up on every single day. Shamayo nailed it.
It's like 10% skill, 10% luck, and then the 80% is just consistency, like just showing up every single day.
Let that sink in. Not 80% talent, not 80% timing, just showing up. You want to buy that car, build that business, escape your broke cycle, then be the guy who doesn't flinch. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to outlast. You thought it was luck. You thought it was timing. But now you know the truth. These teens didn't win because of some secret. They won because they treated this game like life or death. So now ask yourself, which of these 7 tips are you actually using? Because if the answer's 0, then the car, the cash, and the freedom, that stays a dream. I think you understand how they did it. They didn't wait. They didn't hope. They obsessed, executed, and repeated. They focused on systems, not shortcuts. On skills, not luck. On building while everyone else was binge-watching Netflix and blaming the system. And that's it. What do they know that you don't? That success isn't one big move, like it's tiny, brutal habits stacked daily. They know how to buy time, automate income, and stay consistent long after the hype dies. Now the real question is, are you going to do something with this?